Hello everyone, and welcome back to the PEX News Channel. This is a question that touches upon the vast and often controversial powers of the executive branch. Let's break down the legal framework and political realities surrounding whether President Trump can grant clemency to Ghislaine Maxwell. The short and direct answer is yes. Constitutionally, the President of the United States has the authority to grant clemency to individuals convicted of federal crimes. Here is a comprehensive breakdown of how this power works and its implications in this specific case. The constitutional authority. The President's power to grant clemency is one of the broadest and most absolute powers granted by the U.S. Constitution. It is found in Article 2, Section 2, which states that the President, quote, shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. Let's analyze the key components of that clause. For offenses against the United States, this is the most critical element. The presidential pardon power applies exclusively to federal crimes. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted in December 2021 in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York on 5 federal counts, including sex trafficking of a minor. Since her conviction is for federal offenses, her case falls squarely within the scope of presidential clemency. If she had been convicted of state crimes, only the governor of that state could grant clemency. Except in cases of impeachment, this is the only explicit limitation on the power mentioned in the Constitution. It is not relevant to Maxwell's case. Types of clemency available. Clemency is an umbrella term that covers several forms of leniency. President Trump would have 2 primary options regarding Ghislaine Maxwell. Pardon. A full pardon would represent an act of complete forgiveness for the crime. It would effectively wipe the conviction from Maxwell's record and restore any civil rights she lost as a result. She would be released from prison, and it would be as if the crime never occurred from a legal standpoint. Commutation. This is a more common and often less controversial form of clemency. A commutation would reduce Maxwell's 20-year prison sentence. It would not forgive the underlying crime or erase her conviction. The president could commute her sentence to time served, which would result in her immediate release from prison, or he could simply shorten the sentence to a lesser number of years. The political reality and controversy. While the president's legal authority is clear, the political implications of granting clemency to Ghislaine Maxwell would be immense and extraordinarily controversial. The crimes for which she was convicted, aiding Jeffrey Epstein in the sexual abuse and trafficking of underage girls, are viewed with universal revulsion. Any act of clemency, whether a full pardon or a commutation, would inevitably trigger a massive political firestorm and intense public backlash from across the entire political spectrum. It would lead to immediate questions and renewed scrutiny regarding President Trump's past association with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Such a move would likely be seen by many as a profound miscarriage of justice and could dominate the political narrative for a significant period. In conclusion, while President Trump possesses the clear and unilateral constitutional power to pardon or commute the federal sentence of Ghislaine Maxwell, the decision to exercise that power would carry exceptionally heavy political consequences. It is legally possible, but it would be one of the most contentious uses of the presidential clemency power in modern history. So what's your take? Drop a comment below.